Assalamu alaikum. I hope you people are doing very well. So, as you know, entrepreneurship is not about only starting a business, but it is about building it on a strong ethical and the legal foundations. So a business may have a great ideas, but without the proper ethics and the legal compliance, it cannot survive for a long. For example, many small startups start quickly with enthusiasm, but later it may have the conflicts. It may have certain requirements for ethical responsibilities for every future entrepreneur. So in today's lecture, we will cover chapter number 7, the structured way. The chapter mainly focuses on the two major areas, building a strong ethical culture and then establishing the proper legal foundations for the business. Opening profile. So we have the tempered minds, proceedings on a firm, legal foundation. The chapter begins with the story of a company called Tempered Mind, founded by the university students who developed the stress management software programs very early in their journey. They faced important legal and the ethical questions such as how to divide the ownership among the founders, how to protect, how to handle the users' private data responsibly. Instead of ignoring these issues, they consulted legal advisors and then they created clear agreements. Because of this, investors trusted them, employees felt so secure, and then customers believed in their company. So a simple real life example in Pakistan is when two friends started an online clothing business on social media. At first, everything works smoothly, but when profits increases, they may argue about who invested more or who owns the brand name. If they had written an agreement from the beginning, this conflict could have been avoided. So the key lesson is that entrepreneurs must prepare early for legal and ethical challenges. Otherwise, these problems can damage the business later. So the main heading is how can we establish the strong ethical culture. So this is the major area of chapter. Ethics means doing the right things when nobody is watching. For a business, an ethical culture is essential because it increases the customer trust, it improves the employee motivation, it attracts the investors, it supports the long-term success. For example, if a restaurant consistently provides clean food and then honest pricing, then customers will return again and again. But if customers find poor hygiene, then they will stop coming and may share negative reviews. So under this main, the book explains three important headings in this. Lead by example, the first one. The first step in building an ethical culture is leadership behavior. Employee will observe the actions of their leaders and then they follow their examples. If leaders are honest, then employees will behave in the same way. But if leaders misuse the company resources or behave unethically, then employees will copy that behavior. For example, if a manager arrives late every day but expects employees to be punctual, employees may be stopped taking punctuality seriously. So on the other hand, if the manager reaches the office on time and works sincerely, then employees will naturally follow that standard. So another strong example in Pakistan is that ED Foundation. The founder lived a very simple and honest life and always served people sincerely. Because he led by example, the organization gained public trust and support. So the main idea here is that ethical culture always begins at the top level of the organization. So establishing the code of conduct, the second heading in this. Establishing the code of conduct means it is actually the written statement, the set of rules that employee behave in the organization. It usually includes guidelines about the honesty in communication, fair treatment of the customer, colleagues, protection of the confidential information, and proper use of the company resources. For example, in university or offices, a rule may clearly state that employees must not share the students' or the customer's personal information without permission. So this will protect privacy and build the trust. Another simple example is that in a retail shop that clearly states no return without receipt. So this ensures fairness for both customers and the businesses. So this document is important because it provides the clear standards for behavior and it helps to maintain fairness, it helps to maintain consistency in the workplace. So the next is implementing an ethics training program. The third step, which is in developing the ethical culture, it is the providing ethics training to the employees. Even if rules exist, employees must understand how to apply that rule in the real situations. So an ethics training programs may include the discussions, the workshops, the case studies, and the rules playing activities. For example, employee may be asked, what should you do if a customer offers you extra money? To skip the queue, should you accept the money, or should you follow the company policy through training? So the company policy will train the employees to make corrective actions, confidence in making ethical decisions. Another example may be hospital that trains staff to maintain the patient confidentially. Without training, sensitive information could be shared accidentally. So the purpose of this training is to ensure that ethical values are practiced in daily work and not just written on the paper. So the next is, how can we deal with effectively with that particular legal issues? This is the second major area of this particular chapter, which is focusing on the legal matters. Any organization cannot survive successfully without the proper rules and regulations. Many entrepreneurs make mistakes of starting operations first and handling legal requirements later. So this approach can create serious problems. For example, if you start any factory without proper safety permits, later government will inspect, may shut down the factory, causing financial loss. So under this, your book is covering that how can we deal with the issues. So first point is choosing an attorney for a firm. One important step is selecting an attorney or a lawyer. Attorney will help an entrepreneur to handle the legal requirements to avoid the future problems. Their responsibility will include registering the business, preparing the contracts, protecting the intellectual property, and ensuring the compliance and the legal requirements. For example, if a business creates a new brand name or a logo, a lawyer can help to register a trademark so that the competitors cannot copy it. So another example is, if when a company hires employees, a lawyer can prepare employment contracts that clearly define salary, the duties, and the working hours. So having a lawyer is important because it helps to prevent the legal mistakes that could be costly for the business. Like drafting a founder's agreement, it's another important legal step in preparing the founder's agreement. This agreement clearly defines the ownership, responsibilities, the decision-making authority, and profit sharing. For example, imagine two partners start a tuition academy. One partner invests money, other partner manages the operations. So later when profit increases, they may disagree about how much each person should receive. A written agreement would prevent this conflict. So this lesson is very simple. Writing agreements early saves the time, money, and the relationships later. So next is avoiding the legal disputes. Legal disputes are very expensive and these are very time consuming. So therefore prevention is always better than solving a problem later. Businesses can avoid disputes by creating the clear contracts, by creating the following regulatory issues, the intellectual property issues. For example, if a supplier delivers damage the information and there is no contract, that the business may struggle to claim compensation. But with a clear contract, the issue can be resolved quickly. So the message is proper documentation will reduce the risk, will protect the business. So another important subheading in this particular topic is important legal agreements. Your book, the following book explains the several common legal agreements which can be used in the businesses. The first agreement is non-disclosure agreement. It protects the confidential information. For example, a software company may ask employee not to share the source code with the competitor. A non-compete agreement is another agreement which can be included in this. It prevents employees from starting a competing businesses immediately. For example, a chef leaving a restaurant may be restricted from opening a similar restaurant nearby for a certain period. A buyback clause allows the company to repurchase the shares if a partner leaves. So this ensures that outsiders do not suddenly gain control of the business. These agreements will help to protect the organization and it will maintain the stability. So how another major area to discuss here is that how can we obtain that particular business license and the permit. So another important area in this chapter is obtaining the legal permission to operate the business. Government will require businesses to register and to obtain the license to ensure the safety and quality in Pakistan. So common requirements includes obtaining a national tax number, registering the businesses for sales tax, and then acquiring the trade license from local authorities. For example, If someone opens a bakery without approval from the food authority, the businesses may be closed immediately due to the health and safety risk. So, similarly, a school must obtain permission from the education department before admitting the students in the school. So, operating a business without proper license can result in the penalties or the closure. So, how can we choose the form of business organization? So, the next question is, how can we choose? The final major decision for an entrepreneur will be selecting the legal structure for their business. So, this decision will affect the ownership. This decision will affect the liability, will affect the taxation, and will affect the growth opportunities as well. So, under this topic, your book will discuss four main forms of business organizations. We have the sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is owned and managed by the one person, as you all know. For example, a local tailor or the beauty salon owner or a small grocery shop, which usually operate as a sole proprietorship. It is simple to start, but the owner is personally responsible for all the businesses, for all the business debts, for all the business loss and the profit as well. So the next form of business organization is partnership. In a partnership form of business organization, partnership is owned by the two or the more individuals who will share the profit, who will share the responsibilities as well. For example, two friends may open a restaurant together and then they divide the duties, like one will be managing the finances and the other will be handling the operations. So this structure will allow the teamwork but also requires the trust and the clear agreements. So the third form of business organization is corporation. The corporation is a separate legal entity from its owners. For example, large companies like manufacturing firms or national brands operates as corporations because the structure will protect the owners from the personal or the financial risk, right? So corporations are more complex to establish, but the corporations will provide the better protection and growth opportunities. For example, next we have the, if we talk about the limited liability company after the corporation, then the limited liability company will combine the flexibility with the legal protection. For example, many modern startups register as private limited companies because investors will prefer the businesses with clear legal structures and the limited liability protection. The key message is very simple in all these aspects. The legal structure of the business is like the foundation of the house. If the foundation is weak, the entire building will collapse. So without the legal structure, your building can be collapsed. So here we have, if we concluded the chapter number, if we conclude the chapter number 7, so today we learned that successful businesses require both the ethical responsibility and the legal compliance. We discussed that entrepreneurs must build a strong ethical culture by leading an example, by establishing a code of conduct, by providing the ethical training programs. We also learned that businesses must handle the legal matters carefully by working with attorneys, by preparing the agreements, by avoiding the disputes, and by obtaining the licenses and choosing the right form of business organization. So the overall lesson of this chapter is very clear. A successful business is built not only on ideas but also on the strong ethical values and proper legal foundations. So this is all from my side. Thank you, students. In the next lecture, we will move to the financial strength and the viability of the businesses. Thank you.